All right. So what's the move, party? What do you want to do?
A thing because we haven't left yet. I want to
No.
ask him if I can quickly sketch out the scroll into my notebook.
Yeah, he would let you
Since
do that.
I do not have the ability to take a photograph.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh darn it. I want that so badly.
You knew what you were doing when you put that right in front of him.
Yes. Of course you did.
Bitch was just taking a selfie.
Yeah. So specifically with the description of the scroll, you said it was humanoids holding the lantern, right? Did you?
It's very it's not very accurate. It's very symbolic. So they're not holding the lantern; they're like this, and the lantern is like very large, and beside them. But they're humanoid. They have arms, legs, hands, and they're not much detail in the faces. They either are wearing headdresses or have head frills or something. It's
Do they have tails?
No.
Okay. Do tabaxi have tails?
Yes.
Yes.
They do not look like cats at a glance, but
that's one of the things I was checking for, just in case it was a cult.
Well, that's a good question.
Important thing to note for me. And like I'll
but it's so symbolized that it really could be anything.
Yeah.
These could be humans, these could be dwarves, these could be elves. You would imagine so, but maybe it was drawn by something that wasn't. You know how it is.
True. Yeah. No, this is Barut's exact problem with histories. It's just, this is unreliable information. If they had a photograph, this would not be a problem. But no. Okay, so I'm going to sketch it out just so that we have that information and we know exactly what we're looking for.
It's a great idea.
And I'm going to copy it out 3 times. One for each of us to take, so that we're all aware of what we're doing. And Berwitt is going to be like the most careful, separating the pages from his notebook and giving you one, separating it very carefully.
Good.
So you know, right, yeah, taking very, very good care, and then he'll just keep his in his.
Yeah,
notebook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The issue is I can't check mine while I'm invisible. Pulls out note. Hang on, I didn't think this through.
You memorize it before you go.
In D&D, you can see yourself when you're invisible, kind of. It's like illusions. It's like how, well, it's a consistency of magic thing, right? You are... So it's not really actually... I don't think there's a given rule about it in any way. But the way illusions work in D&D, and invisibility is essentially a form of illusion, is that when you know that they're an illusion, your mind can see through it. You know you're invisible, and everything on you is invisible, so you can, to a degree, see through it, especially considering it's your own magic.
Okay, that's cool.
Right? So yeah, you would be able to check it. It would be harder to read. You'd be able to read it.
Awesome.
Funny to think about, though.
Yeah.
Awesome. So next move. Now
To
you've
the
got your little
tavern.
notes.
We're gonna go to that dock district that was pointed out. We're gonna try and figure out where he was.
Give me investigation checks.
Sure try.
I should have got coffee during that break. I did not.
We are the worst at this.
You're looking
You know
around.
what? Armor first.
No, you made your checks. No armor
I know.
first. You're looking around, and it's eventually starts to get late. You're looking around a dock district for hours. You see taverns, right? You see brothels. You see leather workers. You see shipwrights. But you never really find any that gives you... You see no sign of any tabaxi. See nothing like that. These districts are a little... You know that all the pirates around here are obviously going to be careful. But it doesn't change the fact that you are surrounded by pirates. Minotaurs, like the ones you saw before, although those seem to be particularly savage Minotaurs, the ones that you see are actually pretty well dressed and will give you like nods and things. Half orcs, some humans, some of pretty much many races have devolved to piracy, and it's one of the few things that people are very open about race when you're a pirate. If you're useful, you're useful. But day turns to night, and you find no sign of anything like that. You do find several taverns. The issue being, you find several taverns in this area. There are a lot of pirates who don't want to sleep on their ship while they're here, and will pay their plunder to do so, and maybe get a wench or two while they're at it. So there's plenty of places to look through.
Huh. Well, I say we just arbitrarily pick a tavern or place because we need to rest. I need a nap.
If I were looking for a ship, would I put myself close to the docks or far away from it?
Close, of course.
But within the dock district, you're trying to be subtle. You're trying not to necessarily raise the attention. You may be moving quickly, but you're being deliberate. You know you may be here for a time. Do you stay directly beside the dock, or do you stay a little bit further away? I think you stay a little bit further away.
I think you're right.
Unless you assume that anyone looking for you would think that you would be staying further away because you wouldn't want to attract attention, in which case you would hide in the most obvious spot, which would be the last place they'd think to look, because it would be the first place they'd think to look.
Except that any investigator worth their salt will look in the first place that they think to look before they go to any lengths.
So let's go there.
We should look there, but that doesn't mean we should stay there. My point is, I think we should look there, but then we should come back and pick a tavern a little bit further away. Not too far away, but a little bit further away.
So where are you going?
No.
Correct.
Yes, correct. Good question. We are going to, if we're looking to go to bed right now, which I think is what's happening, we're going to go to a place that's okay. So the dock district, from how you described it, there are a swath of them just all the way along, basically, for taverns and brothels.
Yes. It's as you'd expect, right? Istana,
Yeah.
as a city, I mean, you have like basically a sextant of the city that you know you're looking through. But the whole city is an island ringed by docks, that this whole like first ring of the city is warehouses and brothels and taverns and things for the docks.
Yeah.
And you're in very much that area before you get into the towers and the boutiques and the Knurvelb and
so
stuff like that.
Then in that case, we don't want to go to the closest taverns and brothels to the docks.
No.
We want to go to ones that are not the furthest away before the town, but rather the ones that are kind of in the middle.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
And we just want to pick one not entirely at random, but rather I want to pick one that looks unassuming.
You can give me an insight check, I suppose. Makes sense for this?
I was going to say, can you tell us the names of the taverns that are around?
I'm not giving you every single name of every single tavern, unfortunately.
I don't want of every single tavern. Of just the general vicinity of where we're talking about, like...
I was knocked down by a slime today.
You didn't even get good enough investigation rolls for me to give you like 3 tavern ideas. You have straight up no idea, you know?
You know what? For the fuck of it.
Yeah. Roll a nat 20.
Yeah, especially because you're walking around going, we need to find somewhere that doesn't look shady. And Virik actually does know how to find places that are shady or not, but also you spend a long time as a Punisher, which is essentially a form of government mercenary. And there's a lot of mercenaries and privateers around this area, so you find a place that's safe to rest in simply because it's for mercenaries. The Angry Sea Witch is one of those such places. It's not connected to the docks in any means. It's in the docks sort of ring of the city, but it's not so close it's got cranes overlooking the water or anything like that. It's quite a bit ways away. It's got its own like pigs and things outside and space, but is mostly for mercenaries to hang out and drink in the and eat down below, but with rooms for people who might be staying here quite a while waiting for work. It's actually the kind of place that might end up would stay in. Not that you know where she was; she vanished. So you can go in and get rooms there and meals. They would be 7 silver each for a room and a meal. Of course, you could double up on rooms if you wanted, or even triple up. But you're probably not going to get a great size anyway, so you probably might as well just buy separate ones.
We spent a lot of time sharing a room, so I'm good on that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
you finally get some private space. But just so you know, I mean, this tavern is filled with seafaring mercenaries from all over the place. So if you want
Virik's
to
actually
chat to them, feel free.
Yeah, Virik is gonna stay down, order some drinks for a little while, and just sort of do what he used to do as a Punisher. Just find out what's happening.
Give me a persuasion check.
It's weird for him to do this without his mask on.
Yeah.
Oh, that went past so many good rolls, and then just went straight
Yeah.
back to crap.
You spend a bit of evening while eating and drinking before you go to bed, talking to the people around here. Not a lot of them are very talkative. The ones that are are protecting jobs that they have to do or don't have much to talk about. You really don't get much.
Oh, that's fair.
Well,
Well,
planning on talking
that
to the
time.
tavern keeper.
Feel free. Let me see who the tavern keeper is. That's right. I got my tables up.
see, he's not good at persuasion at the moment because he can barely talk because of the smog.
Yeah! The tavern keeper is actually a female Borvar, a female Goliath, who is maybe watering down the wine when you walk it over. And will
And I'm not going to comment on that at all.
recork it and put the bottle aside and be like, what are you interested in?
I'm actually going to respond in giant and say, a drink?
Well, we've got plenty of drinks. Wine, ale, beer. We got some
What's your
bucket
favorite?
wine. We've got some Nervelb. Ah. She will pull out a dirty-looking bottle. Looks like it's been found under the sea. And she says, it has no like labels or anything. Like, occasionally, a little sip of this is exactly what you need to get through the day.
I'll take some. How much?
2 gold.
And I'll hand over 2 gold. And then I'll...
It's like a very strong kind of vodka-y thing.
yeah. This doesn't seem like it comes from around here. This is all still in giant, by the way.
Absolutely. And she's there very much seems much more comfortable talking to you in giant and like leans over on the table. Yeah. Being a female Goliath, completely bald, stony skin, coated in tattoos in blue and black, but most of them are seemingly vaguely sea-based, Right. Still very geometric and conceptual.
Right. This doesn't seem like it's from around here.
Dragged it up from under the sea. I used to be on a ship that looked for things under the water, shipwreckages and things. I never really went down that often because my kind sink like rocks. But I made sure if they brought anything back up with them that it didn't stay with a head for very long.
Fair enough. Did you ever travel out east?
We went all over the place, but mostly northern.
Interesting. I've mostly only sailed on the eastern sea, so it's this territory is all very new to me.
I can understand that.
Yeah. You see a lot of different types of people around here that I wouldn't have normally met over in my travels. Do you find that a lot of the travelers are very different here compared to, say, up north?
Well, actually, most of the people you'll find in Istana is kind of half and half between Mother's Horn and Bilgewake. Up in Mother's Horn, you're not gonna find an orc or someone like that, but you are gonna find minotaurs. You're gonna find bird folk. You're gonna find people like me. Right. So it's kind of a half and half. The gnomes, honestly, they keep away from all of this. They just rake in the coin. Smart system.
Right. It is. And I mean, I suppose with few friendly ports for that, It makes a lot of sense. There was a part of my territory out east that the Tabaxi often profited in the same way. They're clever people. Don't meet many of them out this way. Not the ones, anyways, similar to where I'm from. But
She kind of scratches at her head and shakes, like, I don't think I've seen many of them recently. They sometimes go about. I know the kinds. They're very curious folk. They get interested in treasures. Makes them perfectly suited for a privateer job.
Right. I suppose that makes them very likely to show up here, but... Yeah, I haven't seen one yet. I'm surprised. I was half expecting to, because that's the type of thing I'd expect to see in this port, is a...
Are you looking for a particular tabaxi?
Not really. More what I'm looking for.
Then she gives a knowing nod and says, you know, I think there's a Red Lantern house a bit further down south that has a tabaxi girl.
Not what I'm looking for.
I mean, honestly, I'd be worried about getting fur in my mouth, but... You're not...
More what I'm wondering, and perhaps you can help me with this. There's been information about some treasures going missing. And that's more what I'm curious about.
You can give me a persuasion check.
Yes.
Ah! If you're looking for stolen goods or anything like that, look to pretty much everything and nothing. I can't help you with that kind of thing. I just sell safe beds.
Fair enough.
I just like push your key across the table and all that, and pour you another.
And I'll take another shot of that.
With rolls like these, I'm actually terrified when I have to do stealth checks.
With rolls like these, who needs enemies? Alright.
Right?
And you can sleep for the night on stable land. These rooms are...
set an alarm at every door to all of our rooms.
Damn right. The rooms you get are pretty small, wooden affairs. There's that kind of not entirely pleasant smell that... First of all, the smell from the air, which is particularly bad in the Docks District, because this is also where many factories are. But also the sea air and water mingling with the wood and rotting some parts of it. It's not entirely pleasant, but you do all sleep or meditate through the night without any harm coming to a lot of you. It's not the most busy tavern in the world, so you all do manage to get to sleep, although it's a very loud place. But you sleep through the night and can wake up in the morning. And mornings in Istana, especially in the Dock District, are just misty. The streets are filled with misty rolling fog, cold clinging air that, again, is not actually cold to any of you because you're so far south. What's the plan?
Any idea?
Armor is my plan.
By the way, Vieric, how much gold was given to us for the...
Right, I was actually meaning to say, Vieric would have given you both 75 each.
Okay.
Baruit wants to make an insight check on Vieric here. Because he doesn't know how much you got, but he has suspicions.
Oh, he has suspicions.
Yeah. We got 150.
Yeah. So Baruit is going to take 50 from it and hand back the 25 and say, "Why are you shorting yourself?"
Oh, because I owe you guys still.
Don't owe me. And he's gonna put the 50 in his pocket and
walk out.
Yeah.
Drop mic. So if you want to just buy regular studded leathers, you just allocate several hours going around these areas. You can just buy them book price.
Yeah, just like regarding this excess of money, I'm gonna take it, but literally not even questioning that was a possibility. Like I would have just been
splitting
like,
the
thanks.
gold. Well, you know,
I'm already outside before. that happen.
The conversation happens.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you want to buy just regular studded leathers, book price. If you want to look for something more specific or anything like that,
That's 45 gold.
yeah, if it's one of those things. If you want to look for like magical armors, that's going to be like downtime searching, which
I don't think I can afford it, even if we found any.
exactly. You don't have the big muns yet.
I have 100 gold pieces.
Oh no!
So I'm not even gonna waste time.
But the nice thing about the levers that you get here, of course, they're not going to be in the style that you'd be more used to. But pirates, studded leather made for pirates. It's a little bit more form-fitting. It's a little better designed for stealth. It's a very different sort of armor, but of course, same level of protection, all that. Maybe even comes with a hat.
There you go. While we're looking around, I want
There would
to
definitely
just
be an
ask,
option to come with a hat.
Please,
I mean, if there's a free hat involved, I'm not gonna say no.
you need to have it come with a hat. I wanna ask around about the photo boxes as well.
People would know what they were, but that's something to buy much more in the middle of the city and not a common item by any means. Again,
No,
luck or
more-
downtime searching.
Yeah, no. And it was more just like I was asking to make sure that you could not buy it in the docks, and I would have to go into the city to deal with that later. This is very much.
It would be
asking.
essentially buying a magic item, so it would take a while.
Yeah, that was the assumption.
The other thing I'm curious about,
Or just steal one.
or just steal. The other thing I'm curious about is regarding like. I mean, I did this in the last town. I'm gonna do it in this one. Is just looking at the fletching scene, as it were, or just what they have, or if they have anything in the way of equipment. Just while we're
There's
looking
very
for
much, in the areas you're going through to get armor in the docks district. There's people selling crossbows. There's gnomish engineer teams who fit ballista on ships and things like that.
Interesting.
When it comes to buying better quality, like crossbow bolts and things, it's entirely possible, but not something you're necessarily super interested in.
Yeah.
If you took time to try and look for magical or special or whatever, absolutely you'd be able to get here. One thing that you can get here quite easily are rope bolts. The ones that essentially make you use your crossbow like a grappling hook.
Oh, that's cool.
Particularly for, roping ships together and stuff like that.
Yeah, how much are those?
They would be 10 gold each. And
Okay,
it would come
I'm gonna
with...
buy a couple.
Actually, how much is rope? 'Cause otherwise I've either made a great deal or a bad deal. Oh, my player's handbook is at the bottom of the pile. It's always at the bottom of the pile.
While we're looking around too, I am kind of keeping my eye
This is
out.
the Dungeon Master's Guide.
I am kind of keeping my eye out to see if I see a tabaxi anywhere, and then also to see if I see anywhere that would be selling trinkets and baubles.
Oh, trinkets and baubles can be found all over the place.
Rock low.
Is this turning into Darkest
Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah, exactly. So that does come with 50 foot of rope for all of those arrows.
Rick would also grab some more throwing stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't be able to get them in the same style, but a similar thing.
Throwing knife works as long as I can throw it.
Exactly. Trinkets and baubles you could easily find. More further into the city where you'd find actually quality versions. What you actually find quite interesting here are a lot of like sort of voodoo-ish spiritual trinkets, little like bone ornaments and things that must like seafaring tradition and stuff.
Any cloth dolls by any chance?
Maybe if you look far enough.
Yeah, I'm not
Are
looking.
there any trinkets that people are advertising as known to be like to ward off sea monsters?
Oh, the tourist trap. I love it.
Like real or fake? If someone proposes that, Tobias is going to be interested.
Not in words, but there's definitely subtext of that because Baruch can tell you it is illegal to falsely advertise goods in Istana. So
place.
some of the shadier ones will be like, so keep Krakens away from your ship. Shh, keep it between us. You don't want, if everyone knew, it would. I'd have to charge you more. You're getting a great deal. It's just us.
Don't buy that.
Like cures like. It's a genuine kraken foot. Get back here.
Do krakens have feet?
No, they do not.
Are
No,
you sure?
I'm positive. Yes.
I love this place.
Like, even if Burrowit wasn't sure,
No.
he would say, no, they don't. I'm sure.
But yes, those sort of things absolutely exist. You know, these streets are filled with semi-shady merchants, and some people just making genuine good, good works. Like, all the shipwrights are nearly all run by gnomes, and selling high-quality equipment and stuff in these areas. It's almost like little pockets of the outer city, and owned by gnomish wareshops and things. What else are you looking for, or are you... you wanted to see if you spotted any tabaxi while you're around. You can give me a perception check.
Okay. The other thing I was saying is, with noting where those trinkets and baubles are, tabaxi are curious folk.
Yes,
they might
exactly.
check those things out in the future. Mostly just marking them down for myself as potential watch spots.
Okay, yeah, no, absolutely.
19, it's not bad.
So you don't see a tabaxi, but while you're going around these trinkets and baubles, it's almost if you imagine as like a main thoroughfare that goes around the outside of the island. Not perfectly, but more or less. But isn't the outer road that goes to the docks, but it's just a little bit further in. While you're there, you actually hear two other people who are going and buying things, who appear to be a savage lands human and a half-orc. Who are talking about is like, yeah, that guy we saw at the tavern yesterday. He's all right. You should buy one of these for him. And I'm like, I'm not buying no jewelry for another man. Like, no, but he looks weird. He was covered in fur and his eyes. No, it's just a cat person. You ain't seen one of them before. No, but isn't he sick? Maybe he's what are they called? A lemon thrope. No, it's not. They're not called lemon thropes. That's not right. What are they called then? I don't. It's not that. It's not that.
How far away are these people from me?
I imagine you're like at one stall, and they're like behind you at like another one across the street.
Lycanthropes.
Will you call me?
No, I'm saying they're not called lemon thropes. They're called lycanthropes.
This guy was listening to our conversation.
Not listening, you're quite loud. I'm terribly sorry.
Oh,
Just thought you might be interested.
He's a knife ear anyway. They hear everything. So get out of here.
I apologize. I can't help it. The way I was made.
Using racism against them.
Yeah. No. It de-escalated. They will piss off.
Yeah.
Which does mean you don't know which tavern they were referring to.
Yeah. I'm watching where they're going, though.
Are you going to tail them?
How close is Virik to me right now? Because
I didn't say I was doing anything else, so I can be right near you, and I can also do a thing.
Virik, I'm gonna lean over to Virik. Follow them, would you?
That I can do, and I'm gonna do a little loop, and I'm gonna follow him.
Yeah, give me a stealth.
I had to correct them.
No, I know, it's so good. I like it a lot. But it's also, these are pirates.
Yeah. I can't help it, though. Bruit would have corrected them.
These two folk have no idea that you're following them. And they're going around, they're buying some things. The half-orc buys a few hatchets and, like, attaches them to his belt. They get ration packs, they buy some booze for the night. They briefly consider if they should go to a gambling hall or a brothel, and then he's like, nah, I just fancy a quiet night in, actually, you know, a lot of nights at sea. And then they end up going back to a tavern. Yeah, you would have been, like, sitting outside a brothel just waiting. Hearing a lot of noises. Luckily, they changed their mind. The tavern they go to is one of the few that is directly on the water. It's on one of the areas where the dock routes are directly on top of the water. And it is a tavern called the Minotaur's Head. It's a very big tavern that has kind of like the house in Edith Finch. It's got little it's been built up and up and up, so it has more and more rooms. They're a little haphazard looking. Some have balconies. Like literally while you're going up, there are a rather promiscuous seeming half-orc couple on one of the balconies that they don't care that everyone can see. In fact, maybe they are very happy that everyone can see. They seem to love each other very much. The two go into this tavern, but you don't really care where they're going in this tavern. You just care that this is the tavern, the Minotaur's Head.
Okay. Tobias was right. Heads back. So I would head back and
you would go and find them, and it would be like an hour, but you know, you just kept shopping.
Well, I'm perfect because it lasts an hour. So
yeah, exactly. As you know, you're traveling back to them, the spell wears off, and you just rejoin the streets.
I pull an Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of Hitman, where you just blend back into the crowd after committing a heinous crime.
Screwdriver to the head.
Yeah.
So I found which tavern they went to. It's the Minotaur's Head.
Also,
it's just on the water. So Tobias is right.
I'm just gonna look over at Baruit and not say anything, but Tobias just has a huge grin on his face.
And Baruit's gonna turn to you, Tobias. He's either an idiot or he's actually clever.
Those are the options, yes.
Well, the other option is that he's just a normal human being. Well, normal tabaxi, pardon me, who is of moderate intelligence, in which case they would have ended up where I was suggesting, in all likelihood.
Let's hope for idiot then.
Yes.
When you get to the Minotaur's Head, it might help Baruch's thinking of the level of intelligence in the pirates that seem to frequent this place. Some of the other taverns would be places where merchants would stay, not the Minotaur's Head. Minotaur's Head is just pirates and ruffians and thieves. It has a tavern bottom layer, but it is also part brothel, not because it's actually a brothel, but because the girls and boys are making a lot of money here, and the management don't care, probably get a cut. It's filled with exotic smokes of various different types of pipeweed and other smokables, as well as, actually there's some smoked brisket beef there, that's quite nice. And food over a hearth, because most people consider this quite cold. It's very busy, but especially because you would get there around early dinner time, you know, so it's even busier so with barmaids running around with plates full of food and trying to get things to people and drinks and things like that.
Shall we order and sit down and wait? See if we can see him.
Baruit's looking around the tavern.
You can give me a perception check.
Yeah.
I would also like to take a gander.
Please take a goose of that gander.
You know what? I'm good.
Tobias sees someone having sex, is what Tobias sees.
Barut, you look around, and actually what you notice is that all this food is being sent around this chamber, but the occasional times the barmaids are going upstairs with plates of food. You don't see a tabaxi here, but maybe he's still here and getting food taken up. Especially when you notice one that is like, a jug of milk and a bunch of fried fish, which you're like, maybe... Tabaxi, as you've known them, are very cat-like, like stereotypically cat-like. So that would immediately make you think that. Tobias, as you poke around and you sort of split up and look around the underfloor of a tavern, you bump into a big, burly dwarf woman who will turn around and be like, "What are you looking at, eh? You poking around, giving me the old stink eye. I'll take that eye." Hey?
I really am hoping Tobias is going to turn this around and charm the pants off of her.
Well, that was my initial thought. Yeah, my response to that would be like, I apologize. I was looking for my friend, but it appears I'm now looking at a beautiful sight, the likes of which I have never seen before.
Please roll me a deception check.
Yeah, I was like, that's gonna probably not work.
It's not terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible.
12.
Oh, no.
She kind of is like, oh, Mama's gonna have fun, and takes out a whetstone and just starts sharpening her knife, her axe, while like walking towards you. Other people are getting out the way. Someone's like, looks like Mama's gonna kill this man. It's like, oh, I want to bet 10 gold on Mama cutting that guy's eyes out. Yeah, and like stuff like that.
See, this is where I'm entering like fight or flight. And I'm really trying to decide if this is like a situation that I want to become involved in.
No,
You're already involved.
You are. She is walking towards you, sharpening her weapon.
Burwitt is going to step in front of Tobias, but face Tobias. And just grab him by the scruff of the chest and put his arm behind his back, like I'm apprehending him, but from the front, essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say, right, I've been looking for you. Come with me. And I'm going to push you forward.
As you're doing this, I'm like, what do you mean you've been looking for me? We came here together.
Please give me a deception check with disadvantage.
God damn it, you idiot.
Tobias, why?
I was gonna give you it fresh, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
No, I know. As soon as you say that, I'm gonna like smack you. By the
that's
way.
when you feel an axe in the back of your leg, Barut. And get out the way! And she pulls the axe out. She's gonna deal 5 points of slashing damage to you, and then is gonna try and push you out of the way. Please give me an athletics check. At this point, people are like screaming and hollering, but not in fear, but in enjoyment.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. She actually can't push you out of the way. You have the height advantage on her, and you're just like cementing yourself in place.
I'm wearing heavy armor.
And and she's trying to like pull you out of the way.
And I'm gonna just toss Tobias back, and I'm gonna say, "You're an idiot."
And there's also some people here who are laughing right now, being like, she's being bested by an elf.
And I'm gonna turn around to her, and I'm going to say, "He's a moron. He's an absolute moron. If you want, I'll punch him for you, rather than you trying to take his head off."
When you say that, I'm going to say, let the lady fight her own battles. She's a woman, not an invalid.
You're not even getting a persuasion check for that. She would never be convinced by that. She swings at you again, but you manage to throw your shield in the way.
You know what? Virik is going to cast darkness.
This is such a clusterfuck.
You fill the tavern with darkness, and all sorts of people are like, some people laugh. You hear people whisking off their chairs. You hear coin being grabbed from gambling tables. You hear people being grabbed.
I usher them towards where I know the door was. And you know what?
I'm not moving. If you're trying to move me, I'm not moving.
What? Come on, just right there behind you. Just get out.
I really wish you hadn't done darkness, because I was about to do something else, and now I can't.
But
Burwick's not moving. So
if you want to try and get Tobias, if you want to like get out of here, because you're the main source of contention, at least for a bit, you can give me a stealth.
I don't want to try to get out.
You just want to be.
Oh fuck! Okay.
Great.
look,
If it looks like they're both not moving, I'm gonna move back to where I sat down. Like I haven't moved. I'm still at the table I was. I'm gonna drop darkness, because then at least there's chaos of everyone seeing people.
See, now it's at exactly valid point, because now when that darkness disappears, everyone's stealing shit. Everyone's stealing other people's shit, and then someone's like, "Hey, that was my gold piece." Like, someone stole my tooth. Like, it's just a whole clusterfuck happens here, and like in between where the dwarf is, like between you and Barut, like a fight happens between the two, and she's like, "Get out the way! Get out the way!" And will actually throw her axe at you. Like,
I was gonna say,
over.
I'm telling her to stop.
Oh, command. What? She's like, I'm gonna get. Yeah.
See, my plan was, and I apologize if this is gonna ruin everything.
It is. You don't have to say that. It is.
Was to run at this woman and try to tackle her to the ground.
Well, now you can, and she doesn't fight. She's like, hey, and you're like, ah, rub your tackle her.
I'm not gonna deny her a fight if that's what she wants.
And she goes down, but she's like compelled right now.
And I'm gonna say, Tobias, stop. And I'm not using command on him.
No,
but if
exactly.
She started it. She said she wanted to take out my eye.
Yes, and she has stopped now, so stop.
Are you giving up? Just look to the dwarf lady.
Not giving. I feel like it's just. Bygones. She seems confused by what she's saying as well.
Fair enough. I'll like stand up and then reach out a hand to help her up.
She'll get up and she'll kind of brush herself down. Be like, should like sort of walk baffled out of the tavern. Meanwhile, the tavern is still like a full-on like brawling fight right now.
Burwitt is walking upstairs,
and at this point, governors are streaming into the building, and they're not all the small ones.
Oh, shit,
there are big ones the size of a Goliath that are carrying like big old hammers, and straight up it'll like boom the hammer down, and in a very tinny metallic voice be like, all crime in this area will stop immediately or you will face the consequences. And
Beric's just still at the table.
Yeah, exactly. You're sitting there, Barut starts going upstairs. What do you want to do, Tobias?
This is
you
fine.
know, until that development, I was ready to just jump into this bar fight because but I don't really want to get arrested. See, that's something that doesn't usually happen back home, is when there's a bar fight, the cops don't usually show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's just like social recreation.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Lyric would follow Brute.
Alright.
You can see those two going upstairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to the bar and just keep a watchful eye.
Good
stay downstairs.
plan. As you might expect downstairs, some people fight the governors, and the little ones, you know, are usually a pirate could take care of them, but they gang up. There's loads of them. They just swarm, and they tase people, and they get them down. Some people who really get a fight get a fucking hammer to them, but most people, the chaos dies down, and people are like, you still stole my tooth. No, yeah, well, you know, cops. Governors around, and stuff like that. Seems that this...
Is it a taser hammer?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the best.
Only way to keep a good pirate down. You guys go upstairs. There's actually quite a lot of floors upstairs. How are you going about looking for... Are you actually... You know what you're probably doing? You're just following the barmaid with the fish and the what's-its.
Exactly what I'm doing, and I'm telling Vieric that's...
Are you going to stealth up, or are you just straight up following them?
I am not stealthing, but I am keeping very, like, enough distance. But
before we get close enough for anything to happen, I'm just gonna say, do you want me to steal it now? Or do you want to wait for nightfall?
I don't think it necessarily matters. It's a tabaxi. We'll see you either way if it's in there.
Yeah, but if he's asleep, it'll be easier.
Might be. You do more of this than I do. It's really at your discretion.
I think we find the room first, and then later on we...
I've got your food for you, sir.
Okay.
I imagine it's that one.
Yeah.
And Burrowitt's gonna walk back away.
And, like, unlocks the door, and very carefully like places the food down at the bottom of the door and then closes it again, and she's like, ugh. And then we'll walk past the two of you, not really seeming to care that you're having like a hush, like this fucking pirate tavern. She's not paid enough to care about anything you're doing as long as you're not like attacking her or each other.
Yeah.
Shall we get a room here?
No. No, we should not get a room here. Was there any windows to upper floors?
Yes.
When we were outside, yeah.
And seemingly, based on the layout of the building, even though it's weird and haphazard, this would be one of the bigger rooms, and you'd be on like the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Actually,
It'd be a balcony room.
Yeah. There might be a balcony.
Ooh, that could work.
And it's a balcony room that overlooks the sea.
If we go downstairs and just mind your own business for a while, he'd see if he leaves. If he doesn't, and it starts getting towards nighttime, I can head out and go around back.
Agreed.
Okay.
I just got the image because Virik is stuffed up right now, like he's stealthing and then just sneezes. Gives it all away. But
that's what happens if you roll.
Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back in a couple of minutes for the last hour. We'll see you then.